Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Camille Lovell, and I am an online student at Liberty University. I'm currently pursuing my master's degree in human services counseling with an emphasis in crisis and trauma. As a part of my group dynamics class, we were instructed to facilitate a group of our liking, and I chose to facilitate a drug education group. As a currently practicing addictions counselor on the island of Bermuda, this was a group that's really near and dear to me and something that I thought would be very appropriate for my group dynamics project. So the date, time, and location of my drug education group was on Thursday, June 14th, between 1 and 2:30 p.m. at the Turning Point Substance Abuse Facility Center. In this facility center, we have a group room, which consists of a round table and a couple of chairs, which seemed like the perfect environment to hold this group. The total number of participants in my group was 7, and I pretty much predicted between 8 and 10 members, depending on availability. But a lot of time we find that our group membership is directly related to the involvement that that particular community or population has with services at that time. In order to set up for my group outside of the physical environment, I utilized and incorporated handouts, which consisted of the different main drugs of abuse in Bermuda, withdrawal timelines and charts of your body when you're withdrawing from certain substances, and also brain anatomy diagrams. So all these different charts and graphics would be utilized during the group. I did not have a co-leader while I facilitated this group. It was just myself with the 6 participants. My relationship with these participants was mostly casual outside of our involvement mostly professional outside of our involvement with one another. I had 2 active clients who are part of my caseload in this group. However, I made sure that at the beginning of this group to identify myself as a Liberty University student and acting outside of my capacity as Camille Lovell, the addictions counselor at Turning Point. When I originally wrote my proposal for this group, there were some things that I took into consideration and some things that I didn't as much. I found that for the most part, when it came to content, I was able to very clearly stick to my proposal. This consisted of the information that I was going to discuss, some of the activities that I wanted to do with members, and also the types of members that would be involved with this group. What it didn't necessarily account for was the discussion time and also how the group, or how I would use the energy of the group or the interest in the group to then bring certain points of discussion to attention. So that in all is kind of my introduction for my group. It should be noted that the nature and purpose of this group was specifically drug education. It was to bring awareness to the types of effects that drugs of abuse can have on the body overall. So when looking at the group dynamics or the content or the processes of the group, I found that the group progressed really easily and really in a fluid way from start to finish. I found that when I introduced myself, many members were already familiar with me, so that definitely added to the comfort that was felt between members in the group. Additionally, what I had members do as an icebreaker activity was to introduce themselves as well as what their hopes, goals, or expectations of the group were. This was a great opportunity for members to share a little bit about themselves, about their ideas, goals, and like we said, it also linked members together really well. So that definitely worked as intended. When it came to the content that we discussed in the group, I found that many times the members felt really, really comfortable with the content. Many of the members themselves are working through substance abuse addiction with these different substances, so they were able to pull on different life experiences that they've had, different feelings of their recovery process, and although it wasn't a recovery group, their experiences in recovery definitely added to the overall educational piece. The level of engagement and participation was quite high throughout the duration of the group, and that's because I feel many members felt that they had a lot to give and a lot to offer. What was also very comforting is to see that in combination with their experiences, the education portion of the group definitely facilitated a lot of aha moments. So that was important for me to experience and for them to recognize as well. So in total, some of the leaderships that I utilized was the rounds, like we said, mostly for the icebreaker activities. We also used dyads, so groups of two. This was an exercise that was actually suggested in our group counseling textbook, Jacobs et al. So this textbook was definitely a great resource during this project as well. So we used dyads and then we used linking. So these activities were specific to what drugs of abuse we feel were most common in Bermuda, and we were able to take those answers and compare and contrast with, you know, different expectations of that nature. When it comes to, I guess, my self-assessment, I felt as if I was quite comfortable facilitating the group. I definitely felt that there were some areas that I could increase my effectiveness with, and that mainly comes with, one, practicing the active listening by allowing the group members to really take good time to share their experience and to share their thoughts and share their processes with one another. I think that it will be very, very helpful as well for me to, if I'm going to be allowing for certain activities, to be really facilitating the expectations or the hopes of what those activities are. So in conclusion, I think that some of the most important takeaways from this experience, or how I would utilize some of these leadership qualities that I'm looking to practice in the future, is one, becoming a lot more diligent about the timelines and the activities that I utilize. And I also look to engage a little bit more in the active listening skills, to pay attention a little bit more to the facial expressions of different members, the body language, and then be also to able to utilize those different nonverbal communication messages with other members. So overall, it's a wonderful experience that I had facilitating this group, and I look forward to participating in more drug education groups. Thank you.